saw hasn't ran in probably a year and a half. Just shelved it, but fired up right away, runs like a top. Taking her hunting. Hello everyone. I'm just doing a quick little, well, what I'm doing here today, we're just going to get right into it because this is a quick turn and burn video. I'm setting up my Stihl 026 with the longer bar. I'm throwing a 20-incher on there, doing a little TLC on it, and I thought there's something important I should probably share. I thought it would make a good video. So if you're into chainsaws, you know a thing or two already about maintenance. Maintenance is important. You own anything, maintenance is important and it shouldn't be neglected, but there is something on chainsaws that can be neglected, and I'm finding this out just through, you know, my friends and stuff that have me take a look at their saws. Or anyway, I want to show you what I do to my saws. You know, I do this about twice a year to the saws that I use more often. I'm pretty particular about greasing and maintenance on all my stuff. And let's just get right into it. It's pretty common practice that you're blowing your chainsaws out, you're cleaning them up, whether you're taking in the compressor to them or a brush, you know, you're doing bar maintenance, flipping your bar after every time you sharpen. These are pretty common things, but something that sometimes gets neglected on the chainsaw is the needle bearing. Okay, so I'm going to show you what the needle bearing is and how to grease it. It's part of the clutch. It's very important to have your needle bearing greased, otherwise you could seize up your clutch, and you just don't want hey, everything's better with lube, right? Okay, so you have your clutch drum, you have a sprocket, okay, you have a washer and an E-clamp. So there's your E-clamp. You just stick your screwdriver in there. I like to push my finger against it so it doesn't shoot. I turn it. You know, these things can fly across the room, but that's all you need to do. Okay? Now, if you've never done this before and you're worried about how it goes back together, take pictures with your camera. That's one great thing about cameras. Or old school, what I was taught to do is I just put this down, probably a chunk of paper, towel. So I know that goes on last, okay? Seems silly, but it helps, okay? Then you got a washer. That comes off. Okay, I clean these off with brake clean, parts cleaner. I will do that before I put it back together. Now I'm just putting that on top of that. Okay, you got your sprocket. This is a 325 7-tooth. Check your sprocket for wear. See that little shiny part on there? That's wear, but that's not bad wear. All your sprockets are going to have wear, but if you see big gouges like big chunks of the steel out of that, you might want to replace that. And they're cheap and they're easy to replace. You'll just have a better experience cutting. Your chain won't be slipping on you. Okay, that goes on top of that. Okay, and then you got your clutch drum. That comes off. We're going to give that a clean. Okay. Then you got your needle bearing. See that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just clean this up. And with parts cleaner, I use brake clean. You could use brake clean, carb clean, whatever you got. Something that cleans parts. clean all these pieces up, and then I'll show you how to grease it and put it back together. So like I said at the start of the video, I do this about twice a year. You know, once a year is, I'm probably just, I don't know, I just like doing this stuff, so twice a year for me. Some guys might tell you that's too much, some guys might tell you that's not enough. It's dependent on how much you use your saw. If you're using your saw all the time, like I would imagine if you're a logger, you got a firewood business where you're using chainsaws, you're doing this more often, right? You should be. And, you know, sometimes if they're really grimy, you might have to take your screwdriver and just kind of scrape the grime out of this washer here. Okay, here's the needle bearing, same thing. Give her a shot. The grease collects dust and sand and grime, so you want to get the old grease off of it. You don't need to be too anal about it, but just get it looking clean again. Okay, so that's ready for some grease now. So we're going, there's you know, you want to use bearing grease, but you should be putting grease, like a waterproof grease, or like a grease that's gonna hold up to moisture and water. Okay, so like there's these Oregon pens for greasing the tips of your bars. You can squirt a little bit of that on paper, or you can just take a, you know, I got this, take a little bit of grease, I got the right kind here, dab on my finger, no, and I'm just going around the bearing. Okay, take a little bit of that grease, put it on the shaft. And that's about it. Okay, you might want to blow out your clutch. Check your springs. Okay, while you have that off, just take your screwdriver, push on these springs. Sometimes they look like they're intact. They could be cracked and actually broken. In this case, they're not. Doesn't really matter which way this goes back on. Just put it back on. Okay, what goes next? We got our drum now. Some of these drums have an indicator on them where you have to line it up with the oiler. So check your drum, because there's a little tab on the drum that actually spins the oiler. So if you don't have it lined up correctly, you could have an issue with oiling. But on this Stihl 026, that's not the case. We don't got any indicators on this one that is going to impact that. Okay, make sure everything spins freely. You don't hear any grinding. Okay, I'm putting the sprocket back on. I'm putting our washer. Okay, the E-clip, again, what I like to do is I just rest it. I rest it on there. I take some needle nose. There's a little hole, like a little hole in the shaft there. I don't stick it on the bottom of it. I stick it in the hole. And I just grab the top, clip it down. And that's it. Okay. Check your chain brake. Because you had the clutch off, everything's working. just fine now, and that's what I do. And if you're not doing that, if you didn't know about that, then I'd suggest start doing it. Lots of you probably know this already. This is for the, you know, the guys that are new to chainsaws, or, you know, new to maintaining your chainsaw. You don't need to take your chainsaw to the shop for everything. If you're like me, there's you know, not a heck of a lot of shops around in my area. There are a few. I'm gonna be putting this guy to work, the 026. Okay, I'm gonna be making a video. This is the OG of firewood saws. Come on, right? Great firewood saw, could be right up there with one of the best. You know, if you're just thinking about guys going out and bucking firewood to take home to heat their houses, this saw's been doing that for decades. Okay, this thing's over 30 years old. It still runs like a top. We're gonna get this thing going. If you're interested in watching a video about the 026, it's coming shortly. That's the video for today. A little bit of maintenance I'm doing in the shop. By the way, I don't know if you guys have seen my new shop yet. It's still in working progress, but look at that. I got heat. The old place didn't have heat. This is my new property, my new home, and I couldn't ask for listen, ups and downs in your life, man. I'm on top right now. I'm gonna hang out here for a bit on the top, and I enjoy all the engagement with you guys in the comment section. So like, subscribe, comment. We'll catch you on the next one. You guys take care.